Have you ever stopped to think about how much power a single word can carry? One word. Just two letters. No. It's sharp, it's short, it cuts, and when it's directed at you, it has the ability to feel like the ground is being pulled out from under your feet. You apply for a job, reject, you pour your heart out to someone, rejected, you share your idea, your dream, your vision, rejected. And in that instant, it's like the world takes a step back from you, as if saying you don't belong here. But let me ask you something. What if rejection isn't the punishment you think it is? What if, instead, it's a kind of secret navigation system life uses to steer you toward where you truly need to go? See, we've been trained to fear rejection, to treat it as the ultimate sign that we're not good enough. Yet the truth is, rejection might be the very thing that saves you from wasted years, from wrong people, from doors that were never supposed to open in the first place. Think about it. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, every innovator, every creator, behind all of them is a string of rejections. Not one, not two, sometimes dozens, even hundreds. But here's the difference. They didn't see rejection as the end. They saw it as a test, as feedback, as redirection, and that mindset changed everything. Now here's where it gets interesting. The moment you stop seeing rejection as proof of your failure and start seeing it as evidence that you're moving, that you're trying, that you're putting yourself in the arena, that's when rejection loses its sting. That's when no stops being a wall and starts being a detour sign. So here's my challenge to you. What if you stopped running from rejection? What if you stopped letting it define you and instead let it refine you? Imagine what doors could open, what strength you could build, if you simply accepted it instead of fighting it. Because the truth is, you don't need everyone's yes. You don't need everyone's approval. What you need is the courage to hear no and keep moving forward. And that is where the real power begins. Rejection has a way of feeling deeply personal. It stings because it points directly at you, your ideas, your dreams, your effort, your heart, and says not enough. But the truth is, rejection is rarely about you. More often than not, it's about timing, circumstance, perspective, or simply the fact that what you wanted was never meant to be yours in the first place. Yet, in the moment, it's almost impossible to see it that way. Our minds go straight to self-blame. We think, I failed, I'm not good enough, I should have done more. And those thoughts weigh us down, like chains, trapping us in a narrative that doesn't reflect reality. Here's the thing about rejection. It's not personal, it's directional. Every no you hear is life moving you away from one path and nudging you toward another. It's not a final judgment on your worth, but a course correction. Think about the times in your life when something didn't work out, a relationship that ended, a job you didn't get, a project that fell apart. In the moment, it might have felt devastating. But looking back, can you see how many of those rejections were actually blessings in disguise? That relationship that broke you ended up saving you from years of unhappiness. That job you didn't get pushed you to discover a career that was a better fit. That opportunity that slipped through your hands created the space for something better to enter. Rejection is not a punishment, it's protection. The problem is, we often misinterpret it. We treat rejection as a verdict. We think it means, you're not good enough, when in reality it might mean, this isn't your door. Imagine knocking on the wrong door in a hallway full of opportunities. Someone inside says no, not here. It feels like rejection, but really it's just information. This isn't where you belong. Keep walking. Keep knocking. There's another door waiting for you. One that will swing open the moment you arrive. But you'll never reach it if you take the first no as a stop sign instead of a detour. The greatest stories of success often start with rejection. Think about writers whose manuscripts were turned down dozens of times before becoming bestsellers. Think about inventors whose ideas were dismissed as impossible, only to later change the world. Think about people who were told they weren't talented enough, smart enough, capable enough, yet they refused to let rejection define them. What separated them from those who gave up wasn't talent, wasn't luck, it was the ability to see rejection for what it really was, redirection. When you're rejected, you're not being told, you don't matter. You're being told this isn't your path. That's an important distinction, because it changes how you respond. Instead of sitting in self-pity, you can ask yourself, if not this, then what? If not here, then where? Rejection becomes a compass. It points you away from dead ends and toward possibilities you never would have considered otherwise. It reshapes your path in ways you couldn't have planned for yourself. But to see rejection as redirection, you need to shift your perspective. You need to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what's next? That shift is powerful because it takes you out of the role of victim and places you back in control of your story. Rejection may be out of your hands, but your response is always within your control. And that's where your growth happens. Think about how many times in life we cling to things that aren't meant for us, relationships that drain us, jobs that suffocate us, opportunities that limit us. We hold on out of fear, out of habit, out of comfort. Rejection has a way of ripping those things out of our grasp, forcing us to let go of what we would never release on our own. It's painful, yes, but it's also liberating. It clears space for what's truly meant for you. Sometimes the best thing that can happen is for a door to slam shut because it ensures you won't waste years of your life trying to force it open. You see, rejection doesn't diminish you. It directs you. It doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means your worth lies somewhere else. The job that passed on you may have saved you from misery. The person who walked away may have made room for someone who will truly value you. The opportunity that slipped through may have pushed you toward one that will align perfectly with who you are becoming. You don't see it right away. You may not understand it in the moment, but often with time, you'll look back and realize the rejection was one of the best gifts you could have received. So the next time you face rejection, pause before you take it personally. Pause before you let it define you. Remind yourself, this isn't the end of the road. It's a bend in the road. It's not life shutting you out. It's life guiding you in a better direction. The no you hear today might be the very thing that leads you to the yes you've been waiting for, but you'll only see it that way if you're willing to keep moving forward. Rejection is not personal. It's not proof of your inadequacy. It's a redirection, a recalibration of your journey. And if you can embrace that truth, if you can accept the no without letting it crush you, then every rejection becomes fuel. Every closed door becomes motivation, and every detour becomes a path that leads you closer to where you're truly meant to be. One of the hardest truths to accept in life is this: not everyone will recognize your value. And when they don't, it can hurt more than anything else. You give your best, you show up with your whole heart, you pour yourself into your work, your relationships, your dreams, and still someone looks at you and says, not enough. That sting can cut so deeply that it makes you question yourself. You start asking, am I really worth it? Am I really good enough? Maybe they're right about me. And just like that, you begin to shrink, to doubt, to second guess who you are. But let me tell you something. Someone's inability to see your value does not mean you don't have any. Their vision, their perception, their opinion does not define your worth. Think about a diamond lying on the ground. To someone who doesn't know what a diamond is, it looks like just another rock. They might kick it aside, dismiss it, fail to notice its brilliance. Does that change what the diamond is? Does it suddenly become worthless because one person didn't recognize it? No, it remains a diamond. Its value is intrinsic, whether or not anyone else sees it. And you are the same. Your worth doesn't vanish because someone overlooked you, doubted you, or even rejected you. Their blindness does not diminish your brilliance. The problem is that we often give too much power to the wrong people. We measure ourselves through their lens, forgetting that their lens might be cracked, foggy, or too small to see the full picture of who we are. If someone can't see your value, that's not a reflection of your inadequacy. It's a reflection of their limitation. People see you based on their perspective, their experiences, their expectations, and sometimes their vision is simply too narrow to appreciate what you bring to the table. That doesn't mean you have less to offer. It means they don't have the capacity to see it. Think of all the times in history when great innovators, artists, or leaders were dismissed because others couldn't recognize their value. Vincent van Gogh died without fame, selling almost none of his paintings during his lifetime. The world couldn't see his genius. Does that mean his art had no worth? Absolutely not. Today his work is priceless. The rejection he faced said nothing about his talent and everything about the world's inability to understand it at the time. His value was always there. It just took time for others to catch up. And maybe that's true for you. Maybe what you carry, what you offer, what you bring into the world is ahead of its time or not meant for the people you're trying to impress. Maybe your brilliance isn't meant to shine for everyone. It's meant to shine for the right ones, the ones who can truly see it. Your task isn't to convince the blind to see your worth. Your task is to keep shining until you're seen by those with eyes to recognize it. Here's the danger. When someone overlooks us, we tend to internalize it. We make it personal. We think, if they don't see my value, maybe I don't have any. And that is the lie. Rejection wants you to believe. But remember this, just because a person doesn't know how to handle your worth, doesn't mean you don't have any. Sometimes people reject you because your presence challenges their insecurities. Sometimes they don't value you because they can't value themselves. Sometimes your strength, your uniqueness, your light feels like too much for people who are still hiding in the dark. And instead of admitting that, they dismiss you. That's not about you, it's about them. Your worth is not determined by someone's opinion. Your worth is not a number on a paycheck, not a grade on a paper, not a like on social media, not a response from someone you love. Your worth is inherent. It's built into you from the moment you were born. Nothing anyone does or says can add to it, and nothing anyone fails to do or say can take away from it. The tragedy is that so many people spend their lives trying to prove themselves to those who could never see their value in the first place. They waste energy chasing validation from the wrong places, when all along, their value was never in question. So let's bring this closer to your life. Think about the moments you've been overlooked, maybe at work, maybe in love, maybe in friendships. You tried, you gave, you invested, and someone still made you feel invisible. That hurts. But let that hurt teach you something powerful. The wrong people will never see you clearly, no matter what you do. You could bend yourself backward. You could water yourself down. You could give them every part of you, and still, they might not recognize what you're worth. And that's not your failure. It's their blindness. Stop exhausting yourself, trying to prove to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop trying to shrink so someone else can feel comfortable. You are not meant to fit into everyone's box. You are meant to stand in your own brilliance, and the ones who can see it will be drawn to it. When someone overlooks your value, don't lower your price tag, change your audience. Don't beg for a seat at a table where they don't respect you. Build your own table. Don't waste your energy fighting for recognition from those who will never give it. Invest your energy into becoming even more of who you are, so that when the right people come along, they won't just notice you, they'll value you in ways the wrong ones never could. So the next time you're rejected, dismissed, or underestimated, remember this, your value has not changed. You are still the diamond, whether someone sees it or not. Their inability to recognize you says nothing about your brilliance. It says everything about their limited vision. And when you understand that, rejection loses its power. You stop chasing after those who can't see you and start walking boldly toward the ones who can. You realize that your job is not to convince, not to beg, not to prove. Your job is to be, to shine, to hold your worth so firmly within yourself that no rejection can shake it. Because in the end, your value doesn't decrease when someone fails to see it. It doesn't fade when someone overlooks it. It remains steady, constant, unshakable. And when you carry that truth with you, you walk through rejection, not with shame, but with power, knowing that you were never defined by someone else's eyes, but by the strength and brilliance that was always within you. Rejection can feel like a punch to the gut. It knocks the air out of you, leaves you questioning yourself, and forces you to face emotions you'd rather avoid. But beneath that sting lies one of life's greatest training grounds, resilience. Every time you're rejected, you're given a choice. Let it break you or let it build you. And the truth is, nothing strengthens your inner core quite like rejection does. It teaches you how to endure, how to adapt, and how to keep going when the easy option would be to quit. Think about the first time you ever experienced rejection. Maybe it was as a child when you weren't picked for the team. Maybe it was as a teenager when your first crush didn't feel the same way. Maybe it was as an adult when a job you wanted slipped through your fingers. In that moment, you probably felt a rush of emotions, embarrassment, disappointment, maybe even shame. And yet, here you are, still standing. That very first rejection didn't destroy you. It hurt, yes, but it also gave you your first taste of resilience. It forced you to confront disappointment, process it, and eventually move on. That cycle, hurt, endure, grow, is the foundation of resilience. Rejection is like lifting weights for your soul. Each no you hear adds a little more weight, a little more resistance. And just like in the gym, it doesn't feel good while it's happening. Your muscles burn, your body aches, you want to quit. But every rep, every set, every drop of sweat is building strength. Emotional resilience works the same way. Rejection is resistance. And when you push against it instead of collapsing under it, you become stronger. You build the ability to withstand pain without losing your direction. You develop the mental muscle to carry disappointments without letting them paralyze you. Here's the truth. Life is not about avoiding pain. It's about building the strength to move through it. And rejection is one of the most consistent forms of pain you'll encounter. Not everyone will want you. Not every opportunity will open to you. Not every dream will unfold. exactly as you imagine. If you try to shield yourself from rejection, you'll end up living small, never applying, never asking, never risking, never stepping out of your comfort zone. But if you accept rejection as part of the process, it transforms you. Every time you face it, you learn how to take a hit and keep moving. And that ability is priceless because it spills into every area of your life. Look at the people who achieve greatness in any field. Their stories are soaked in rejection. Athletes cut from teams, writers turned away by publishers, entrepreneurs told their ideas will never work. What separates them from those who stop isn't talent, it's resilience. They built the ability to absorb rejection, learn from it, and keep moving forward. They treated rejection not as a stop sign, but as feedback, as resistance training. That resilience became their edge. But here's something important. Resilience isn't about becoming numb. It's not about pretending rejection doesn't hurt. It's about feeling the sting, acknowledging it, and then deciding not to let it define you. It's about refusing to collapse under the weight of no. When you're resilient, you don't deny your emotions, you process them, you grow through them, and you use them as fuel. Rejection becomes less of an enemy and more of a teacher. Think of it this way, if everything in life came easy, you'd never grow. If every door opened without resistance, you'd never learn persistence. If every person you wanted accepted you, you'd never learn discernment. Rejection introduces struggle, and struggle is where resilience is born. That resilience then becomes your anchor when life throws its inevitable storms your way, because rejection is only one kind of pain. There will be others. Loss, failure, setbacks, heartbreak. If you don't build resilience, those storms will drown you. But if you've trained through rejection, you'll know how to bend without breaking, how to endure without giving up, how to stand tall even when the ground feels unsteady beneath you. Another gift of resilience is perspective. At first, rejection feels final. It feels like a wall. But resilience teaches you to zoom out. It helps you realize that one rejection is not the end of your story. It's a single moment in a much larger journey. With resilience, you begin to see rejection as temporary. You understand that this no might lead to a bigger yes later. You realize that one setback doesn't erase your worth or your potential, and that perspective keeps you moving forward when others get stuck. Resilience also deepens your self-trust. Every time you go through rejection and come out the other side, you prove to yourself that you can survive disappointment. You teach yourself that you're stronger than you thought. And once you know that, rejection loses much of its power. It can still hurt, but it can't paralyze you. You know you'll keep moving because you've done it before. That self-trust becomes one of your most powerful tools. It reminds you that no matter how many doors close, you can handle it. Now, here's the beautiful irony. The very thing we fear, rejection, is what equips us to handle life's biggest challenges. Without it, we stay fragile. With it, we become unbreakable. Resilience doesn't mean you'll never fall. It means you'll always rise. It doesn't mean you'll never feel pain. It means you'll know how to carry it without losing yourself. And rejection is the weight that builds that kind of strength. So the next time you're rejected, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what is this building in me? Instead of thinking, I can't handle this, remind yourself, I'm handling it right now. Every rejection is an opportunity to add another layer of resilience, another rep in the gym of life. And the more you build, the more unstoppable you become. Rejection is never easy, but it's always valuable. It doesn't just redirect you, it refines you. It doesn't just test you, it trains you. It doesn't just close doors, it strengthens your ability to walk toward the next one with your head high and your spirit unbroken. That's resilient. And once you've built it, there's nothing in this world that can hold you down for long. Rejection has a way of shaking the ground beneath your feet. It disrupts your plans, challenges your identity, and often leaves you wondering what to do next. But hidden inside that discomfort is an invitation to grow, to stretch, to reinvent yourself in ways you never would have considered if everything had gone smoothly. Growth rarely happens in moments of ease. Reinvention almost never comes when life is going according to plan. It comes when the plan falls apart, when doors close, when rejection forces you to ask hard questions you would have avoided otherwise. When you get rejected, whether from a job, a relationship, an opportunity, or a dream, the natural instinct is to shrink. You want to retreat, to protect yourself, to stop trying so you don't get hurt again. But if you sit with that rejection long enough, you realize it's also pointing you towards something. It's exposing gaps in your skills, in your mindset, in your strategy. It's showing you where you need to grow. Rejection becomes feedback, not about your worth, but about where you can improve. And that feedback, as painful as it feels, is one of the most powerful tools for transformation. Think about it. If you always succeeded, you'd never change. You'd keep doing the same things, using the same skills, thinking the same way. You'd plateau, stuck in the comfort of good enough. But rejection won't let you stay there. It disrupts the pattern. It forces you to evaluate what's not working. It challenges you to sharpen your abilities, to deepen your resilience, to expand your perspective. Rejection can make you bitter, or it can make you better. The choice is always yours. Consider an athlete who doesn't make the team. At first, that rejection feels devastating, but for many, it's also the spark that ignites reinvention. They train harder, refine their technique, strengthen their mindset, and often come back stronger than before. The rejection didn't end their story, it rewrote it. The no became fuel for growth. The same is true in every area of life. The partner who walks away pushes you to grow into someone stronger, more self-assured, more aligned with who you're becoming. The job that rejects you pushes you to learn new skills, to discover untapped potential, to build a career you never imagined before. Rejection isn't a dead end, it's a demand to evolve. There's also a deeper kind of reinvention that happens through rejection. Sometimes it's not about working harder or being better. Sometimes it's about recognizing that you were chasing the wrong thing altogether. Rejection has a way of stripping away illusion. You think you want something, but when it doesn't work out, you realize it wasn't truly aligned with who you are. The rejection frees you from a path that wasn't meant for you, giving you the chance to reinvent yourself in a direction that actually fits. It's like pruning a tree, painful in the moment, but necessary for new growth to flourish. Many people resist reinvention because it feels like admitting defeat. They see rejection as a sign they weren't good enough. But in reality, reinvention is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the courage to adapt, to evolve, to step into a new version of yourself. Think about the countless entrepreneurs who launched one business, failed, and then created something even greater, the second or third time around. Their first rejection wasn't the end, it was the blueprint for reinvention. Without it, they would never have discovered their real potential. Rejection also forces you to develop creativity. When the straightforward path closes, you're pushed to find another way. That process sparks innovation. Some of the most brilliant solutions in history came not from smooth success, but from doors slamming shut and forcing people to think differently. Rejection breaks routine. It disrupts autopilot. And in that disruption, new ideas are born. Of course, growth and reinvention don't feel good in the moment. They're uncomfortable, even painful. But discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. When rejection pushes you out of your comfort zone, you're given the opportunity to reinvent yourself into someone stronger, wiser, more capable than before. It's like fire refining gold. The heat burns, but it also purifies. Rejection strips away what no longer serves you and leaves you with the chance to rebuild from a stronger foundation. Here's the powerful part. Reinvention is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully yourself. Rejection forces you to confront the parts of you that were hiding, the strengths you hadn't tapped into, the courage you didn't know you had. It peels back layers of fear and exposes the deeper truth of who you are. Sometimes you have to lose what you thought you wanted in order to find who you were meant to be. So the next time rejection comes, don't just ask, why did this happen to me? Ask instead, what is this trying to grow in me? What part of myself is this pushing me to reinvent? Maybe it's your skills, maybe it's your mindset, maybe it's your entire path, but whatever it is, trust that rejection didn't come to end you, it came to evolve you. You see, growth and reinvention are not optional in life, they're necessary, and rejection is one of the greatest catalysts for both. Without rejection, you might stay the same. With it, you're forced to change, to adapt, to expand into the person you're meant to become. And once you embrace that truth, rejection no longer feels like an enemy. It becomes an ally, a painful ally. Yes, but a powerful one. Rejection is not the wall that blocks you. It's the hammer that breaks apart the old version of you so the new one can rise. It's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one that could be stronger, wiser, and more aligned than the one you were trying to write on your own. That is the hidden gift inside every no. It's not there to crush you. It's there to grow you, to reinvent you, and to push you toward the version of yourself you might never have discovered otherwise. There comes a moment after rejection when you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to bitterness, replaying the moment over and over, feeding the pain until it becomes part of your identity. The other path leads to acceptance, where you acknowledge what happened, learn what you can, and take the next step forward. That second path is not easy. It demands strength, humility, and courage, but it is the only path that truly empowers you, because rejection is not the end of the road unless you choose to stop walking. Acceptance is the first step. And let's be clear, acceptance does not mean pretending you weren't hurt. It doesn't mean putting on a fake smile and saying, it's fine. Acceptance means facing the sting head on. It means admitting, yes, this hurt me. Yes, I wanted this. Yes, I'm disappointed. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. But once you let yourself feel the pain, honestly, you also free yourself from being trapped in it. Denial keeps you stuck. Acceptance sets you free. Acceptance is also about releasing the illusion of control. So much of our suffering comes from trying to control outcomes we were never meant to control. You can give your best effort, pour your heart into something, and still be rejected. That doesn't mean you failed. It means life had another plan. Accepting rejection is about understanding that not everything is within your grasp. You control your effort, your attitude, your response, but not the outcome. When you release the need to control everything, rejection loses its power to break you. Once you accept what happened, the next step is learning. Every rejection carries a lesson, if you're willing to see it. Sometimes the lesson is practical. You may need to refine your skills, adjust your strategy, or approach things differently. Other times the lesson is deeper. You may learn more about your resilience, your patience, or your values. Rejection has a way of shining a light on areas we overlook. It forces us to pause, reflect, and grow. But you only get the lesson if you choose to look for it. Too many people waste rejection by wallowing in self-pity, missing the wisdom hidden inside it. Learning from rejection requires honesty. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? What could I do differently next time? What is this showing me about myself or the path I'm on? Sometimes rejection reveals flaws you can work on. Other times it reveals that you were chasing something that wasn't right for you. Either way, it's valuable information. Don't let your pain blind you to your progress. Rejection doesn't have to be wasted. It can be the soil where your growth begins. But learning is not the end of the journey. You must move forward. Too many people get stuck in the cycle of acceptance and learning, yet never take the step of action. They analyze, reflect, and understand, but remain frozen. Moving forward means you refuse to let rejection define your future. It means you take what you've learned and apply it to the next opportunity, the next relationship, the next challenge. It means you keep walking, even when you're still carrying the ache of disappointment. Forward motion is the key to transformation. Moving forward also requires perspective. Rejection can feel like the end of the world in the moment, but when you zoom out, you realize it is only one chapter in a much larger book. The no you face today might be the reason you find your true yes tomorrow. Life is long, and one rejection does not erase your destiny. You move forward by remembering that this moment is temporary, that your story is still being written, and that every step, good or bad, shapes the person you are becoming. There is also power in moving forward with grace. Anyone can move forward, bitter, hardened, and cynical. But the real strength lies in moving forward without letting rejection poison your heart. Carrying resentment only weighs you down. When you choose grace, you release the need for revenge or validation. You stop trying to prove yourself to those who doubted you. You let go of the bitterness and move on with dignity. That grace is a quiet kind of power. It shows you're not defined by rejection, but by the strength of your character. And here's the beautiful part. Every time you accept, learn, and move forward, you build momentum. The next rejection doesn't hit you as hard because you've proven to yourself that you can handle it. You've created a cycle of resilience and growth.
You're no longer paralyzed by fear of rejection.
Because you know, even if it comes, you have the tools to process it, learn from it, and keep going. That confidence becomes unstoppable. So what does moving forward with power look like? It looks like trying again when you feel like giving up. It looks like applying for the next opportunity even when the last one turned you down. It looks like opening your heart again after being hurt. It looks like showing up fully, knowing rejection may still come, but refusing to let that possibility silence you. Moving forward with power is not about never being rejected again. It's about refusing to be defined by it. Rejection is not the end of your story. It's just a part of it. When you accept it, you take back control of your emotions. When you learn from it, you turn pain into progress. And when you move forward, you prove to yourself that nothing, not even rejection, can stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. That is power. Power is not in avoiding rejection, but in facing it, embracing it, and walking forward with your head high. So the next time life tells you no, take a breath, acknowledge the sting, accept what happened, look for the lesson, and then take that next step. Because every time you move forward after rejection, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're showing yourself and the world that rejection does not define you. What defines you is your ability to rise, to grow, and to keep walking with strength and grace, no matter how many doors close along the way. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences we face, but it's also one of the most powerful. It can feel like the world is closing in on you, like the doors you were meant to walk through are slamming shut in your face. But what we've uncovered is this: rejection is not the end of you, it's the shaping of you. It's not the proof that you're unworthy, it's the push that guides you closer to what's truly meant for you. You've seen how rejection is not personal. It's redirection. It doesn't say you're not good enough. It says this isn't your door. You've heard that your value never decreases because someone couldn't recognize it. You are the diamond, whether someone sees your brilliance or not. You've learned that rejection builds resilience, giving you the strength to take hits and keep moving forward. You've discovered how rejection forces growth and reinvention, pushing you out of the comfort zones you would have stayed in forever. And you've seen how when you accept, learn, and move forward, you reclaim your power and refuse to let rejection define your story. So here's the truth you must hold on to. Rejection is not your enemy, it is your ally. It may wound your pride, but it will never erase your worth. It may close one door, but it opens a hallway full of others. It may hurt in the moment, but it shapes the kind of strength that cannot be shaken. Every no you've ever heard has not been wasted. It has been sculpting you, training you, guiding you toward the life you are meant to live. The next time you are rejected, don't ask why me. Instead, stand tall and declare, try me. Let rejection fuel your determination. Let it sharpen your vision. Let it remind you that you are still here, still moving, still becoming. And never forget, you are not defined by the doors that close, but by the courage with which you keep walking toward the ones that will open. You don't need everyone's yes. You don't need everyone's approval. All you need is the strength to face rejection, the wisdom to learn from it, and the courage to keep moving forward. Because rejection will test you, but it will also transform you if you let it. And when you rise after rejection, you don't just prove the world wrong, you prove yourself right. So walk boldly, embrace the no's, and remember, every rejection is simply preparing you for the yes that will change your life forever.